This is the first time that Gastroenterology has had an editor-in-chief and a deputy editor-in-chief. We're incredibly excited about this new model. It's fresh, it's creative, it's innovative. As far as the responsibilities, Doug and I will completely share policies. We'll set new initiatives together. As far as content oversight, I'll handle the basic research articles. Doug will handle the clinical articles, and then together we'll share the translational submissions. First and foremost, we want to maintain Gastroenterology as the preeminent journal in molecular, translational, and clinical science related to gastroenterology, hepatology, and nutrition. We want authors to submit their best work to us, and we will promote that in a very aggressive manner after acceptance.
One of the main goals is to be able to make things as easy and reader-friendly as possible. We're also interested in being able to improve things for our authors in terms of changing the submission process to be able to make it smoother, be able to have rapid responses, and then to create the content that all of our readers want, both on the clinical side as well as basic science side.
A successful submission to Gastroenterology will obviously entail research that has a significant impact in its field and beyond. We also want to maintain the very high standards that were set by Bishop Amari and the previous board. For basic studies, we're looking for articles that use cutting-edge novel cell models for mechanistic insights that are then coupled with in vivo animal models with human validation.
For the clinical and translational studies, we're really looking for two things. First, does it change how we think about the topic? Is it a new or novel insight into the disease mechanism that might allow a new therapy or a new approach? The second is does it change how we clinically manage a topic? In particular, things such as randomized trials are welcome because they allow us to be able to see what actually works in the real world. For all of these, they're going to be something which changes how we think about it and is something that will drive future research in clinical care.
We have committed a lot of our time and effort before we took over the editorship to carefully review author submission guidelines, and we want to simplify the process for authors. We want to make it easy for them to submit manuscripts to Gastroenterology. We will quicken the pace of manuscript turnaround time, and for manuscripts that are accepted to Gastroenterology, we will aggressively promote them using the vast resources within our organization.
We're doing a complete reevaluation of the journal, both in terms of the website as well as the paper experience. And the goal is to be able to have it be as easily readable, as easily accessible, and interchangeable as possible so that the website as well as the journal feels like it has a continuous flow, and that each of them have the features such as easy article summaries and topic-specific statements about what's in the article and the main, most impactful points so that it is easy for the reader to be able to get the information out. We also realize that our readership is incredibly diverse. It includes international readers, readers from underrepresented groups traditionally in medicine and research, as well as both clinicians and basic scientists. So within these areas, we plan on having a number of areas of different types of content that will appeal to all of these different groups. Clinical researchers and clinical readers are slightly different, but for clinical researchers, we offer the opportunity to be able to publish some of their very best research and to be able to reach a wide audience of other researchers who are interested in those topics. It really is the premier journal in gastroenterology and has the broadest readership for that type of research. For the second, in terms of clinical readers, there are a number of new initiatives, one of which is the clinical practice updates that allows us to be able to focus more on topics that are either narrower, so they don't necessarily merit a full guideline, or also areas that have kind of late breaking or newer or more rapidly evolving to be able to get information out to our clinical readers and clinicians on what are some of the best practices in medicine.
Basic science will remain a very high priority for our journal. We're looking for manuscripts that define new physiologic and pathophysiologic mechanisms of disease within the GI tract and also the liver. We're interested in a broad swath of topic areas that include genetics, genomics. We're interested in stem cell and progenitor cell reprogramming and cell plasticity. We're also very interested in moving into areas that appeal to new constituencies for our readership. We're interested in obesity articles that affect metabolism. We're interested in looking at microbial communities within the GI tract that can affect biological basis for diseases. We're also very interested in capturing cancer articles or carcinogenesis articles, again, because many of our readers deal with those problems within the GI tract. Junior investigators or young trainees are a very important constituency for our editorship. And in fact, we've taken a new innovation, and later in our term, we'll initiate a editorial fellowship for a young investigator to become intimately involved in the editorial process. That individual will be able to come to Vanderbilt, see the editorial process first hands-on. We will also allow them to work with an associate editor carefully during the year-long editorship, and we will also provide content for that person to author in the journal going forward.
Junior investigators both have some of the best ideas in gastroenterology as well as having some of the biggest challenges. The best ideas because they're coming into the field with fresh eyes and are able to identify what are some of the most cutting edge problems. Some of the biggest challenges because they don't know as many people, they don't have as many connections, and they also don't have as much funding in terms of being able to do research. We're trying to be able to address these in a few different ways. First is that we are decreasing or eliminating the submission and page fees for some of the highest impact articles that we see from new investigators. The second is that we're working to be able to develop new ways to highlight and feature the research from new investigators so that they're able to see their work promoted more broadly. And then third, we are developing new features within the mentoring and education section and integrating those further with other efforts of the AGA, such as at Digestive Disease Week, to be able to have an enhanced educational experience and enhanced materials within gastroenterology that are of interest to new investigators and trainees.
This is an incredibly dynamic time in our discipline. We have the opportunity to do great things, but we stand on the shoulders of giants. Previous boards have made gastroenterology the preeminent journal in our discipline, and we are thrilled to have the opportunity to move that forward, appeal to new constituencies, work in complete collaboration to broaden our swath of exposure, and again, publish the very best science in this journal.
First, want to be able to thank you very much for your ongoing readership and support, both of gastroenterology as well as the AGA. We look forward to being able to work with you, and we also are very open to changes and suggestions that you may have on how to be able to make the journal better. Please don't hesitate to be able to contact us with any suggestions that you may have, either on the application process, the presentation of the journal, or other features that we might be able to bring to have the journal be more impactful. On behalf of the entire editorial and management staff of gastroenterology, we thank you and we look forward to working with you. And as Rick had said, being able to make this a home for your very best work, as well as a place where you want to be able to go to be able to get the very best in clinical and research information.